Insider Streams is a CRE-powered auction house that lets sellers who have privileged information auction off their secret information to bidders privately using the Chainlink Private Transactions API. Let's switch to the front end to view the full workflow. If I'm a seller who has information to sell, I can go to the front end and fill out a simple form where I select a market in which I believe I have privileged information for, the outcome that I believe will happen, and then text-based information containing the secret that makes me convinced that this outcome is going to come true. When I click on the sell signal button, I'll be asked to sign a message. And when I sign this, the secret data will be shipped over to our mock TEE infrastructure backend where we store secrets. If I just wait a moment, the auction is live. And if I go to the auction, I can click on reveal secret. And because I am the seller, so I provided this information, I have access to it and I can see it. Now, if I switch over to a different account, and try to reveal the secret, I still have to sign a message to go to TEE, everything's stored securely. It says the secret exists, but only the seller and the winning bidder can view it. This auction is still ongoing, so I don't have access to it. What I can do, however, is place a bid to see if I can get access to this information. Now, I already have tokens deposited, but I'm going to pretend I don't, and I'm going to go over to the dashboard and deposit tokens into our TEE infrastructure using the Private Transactions API. I'm using the word deposit here because that's what the user-facing feature is, but this is really actually just a transfer in. What's happening behind the scenes is that we have a mix of REST API calls and a CRE workflow that checks the private transactions REST API transactions and writes it to a private ledger where we store balances internally so that we can operate the site while keeping everybody's identity confidential. You can try this yourself. We created a small faucet where you can get 25 USDC by just signing a message to get you. There it is. All right. So now that I have made a deposit, let me place a private bid. Sign my message. And this will update our TE's internal ledger to decrease my balance by 5 to put it on this bid. Actually taking a pretty big risk because I'm placing a bid on a seller that has no reputation score whatsoever. But let's see what happens when the auction actually gets closed. I'm going to run an admin function to close this early so that I can move on with the demo. Now we have a CRE workflow that runs on a LogTrigger that transfers the balance from the buyer to the seller when an auction closes. But because our CRE workflows aren't deployed, we've created a polling event watcher that closes it. And you can see that the auction was closed right here, as well as in the front end. And since I am the winner of this, I should be able to reveal the secret. Now this auction has ended. And what that means is that we have a CRE workflow that now, finally, I can go to a dashboard, and because I've already clicked the button to reveal my secrets and sign the message, I can see my positions across all bids, but nobody else can because this information is stored securely in our mock TEE. It's all being managed by the CRE to keep our contract in sync with our TEE backend, in sync with the private transactions that are going on with Chainlink's infrastructure. Finally, as a proof of concept, we believe that this system, as it's mostly REST API based, can be deeply integrated into an existing prediction market through an extension. And so we've actually, in our demo prediction market that we built, created the ability to immediately create an auction after you've placed a bet. So you can take care of yourself first and then send a signal to others on our marketplace.